And we welcome you in live to J.J. Kearns Stadium on the campus of Bishop Louis Riker, where Valor is underway with 8 minutes here to go, and the Knights have just gotten a safety. So a safety recorded. That'll be 2 points for Valor as we begin play here. Sorry for the delay. We were battling a wasp in the booth. He is hopefully successfully on his way to heaven or hell, wherever bugs go. But hopefully he's is no longer with us, and we will be good for the rest of the night. But do apologize for that. But we are on the air now. Ben Brown, Jake McCormick with you here tonight. And Jake, Knights trying to get revenge for a team that beat him twice last year. How do you see him responding today?
Well, I think Valor's definitely got a grudge. They really want to beat them. Last year they lost in the playoffs. They were going to go to the semifinals from there. And so I think that they really want to win. I think Wichita lost a few players, so I think Knights are going to be very confident coming into this game, especially off of safety.
Indeed they will. A safety here for the Knights. They will receive a kickoff now. So already with a 2-0 lead. Again, 2 minutes into the first quarter, 8 minutes on the clock. And so that is where we are in this one as we come to you live. Once again, sorry for the delay, battling a wasp in the booth, but we are underway now here as the onside kick is recovered by the Knights. Luke Curtis on the backside recovers, and we will hopefully settle in for the rest of this evening here tonight. Knights will go out on offense for their first possession of the night. They are led out there by Bear at quarterback. See what Coach Bird draws up first play. Bear rolls out deep, firing. Connor sideline, incomplete through the hands of the intended receiver, Connor there, and the pass falls incomplete. Brings up second down at 15.
It's a really good play there, but just couldn't get it through. They're going to have a lot of looks like that tonight, I think. Yeah, they will. They'll go deep a lot, and Coach Bird certainly will not shy away from that here this evening. Bear rolls out again. Looks like a very similar play. This one to Matthew Schlappe over the middle, and he should be gone to the house. Touchdown, Knights. So Matthew Schlappe into the end zone on the deep pass play, and the Knights extend their lead to 8-0. So Bear with a passing touchdown, just a go route over the middle of the field for Matthew, and that will bring the score up to 8-0. So Bear with the passing touchdown, Matthew with the receiving touchdown, and here is Matthew to try and add 2 more via his kick. Here is the kick. It's a line drive, and it's good. So Matthew adds 2 more with his kick, and it bumps the score up to 10-0. So already a 2-score game here in this one, and leads are important in 6-man. If you can jump out, you can get a good start to the game, and that is what the Knights will try to do here. Yeah, a 10-point lead is a great start, especially just into the beginning of the game. I think they're going to keep firing out strong, like getting wide receivers down in the field. And I think they're coming out with a strong, fiery defense.
Indeed. Here we go. Knights crowd still filing in here on this Thursday evening. Final regular season contest of the season for the Knights. Knights have already clinched a playoff spot with a win today. They would host a playoff game next week at home. Whether that be Riker, Paul Tyson, yet to be determined. But Knights would have a home playoff game here in Waco next week. So that's exciting. That's what's on the horizon for this Knights team. Already gone to the playoffs last year, and then they've already clinched a spot again this year, and they will look to advance to the state championship this year, and then winning it all is their ultimate goal. Matthew is going out there to kick it off. We'll see if he kicks it deep or squibs it. Here at 6:05 p.m., we're already fully under the lights. So here with daylight savings time, sun setting early, and Knights are already under the lights. So true Friday night lights now here in the fall as Matthew gets set to boom it away.
Rather, it's a squib kick. It's a short one, and it's fielded. Oh, fumbled by Wichita Christian, and it is recovered by Rhodes Horner. So the kickoff recovery, it was a kickoff. It was a squib variety for Matthew, and he just hit it off of a Wichita Christian player, and then Rhodes got in there and recovered a great play there.
I think we saw Matthew warming up a lot with onside kicks. I think that we're going to see a lot of that tonight. They want that ball really bad, and I think that Coach Bird is going to do everything they can to do, especially with Matthew's great onside kicks.
Yes, I did see Matthew specifically warming up a lot before this game with the onside kicks, as Jake mentioned. Also means the Knights have the ball inside Stars territory here as Bear rolls out on first down. He's going to sling it deep. James Hoagland in the end zone and incomplete. He was open initially, but Luke Miller was able to get back there, the DB for the Stars, able to get there and hit James pretty in the stomach as he tried to go up and make a catch. Good effort by James, but pass does fall incomplete. The Wasp we tried to kill earlier is still moving on the ground, but he's kind of rolling over. Does not appear to be a threat as of right now. So we'll credit Jake and Drew also for helping in the effort to kill the Wasp. So that's a new thing today that we haven't seen yet. But hopefully no more of that this season. It'll bring after the about 12-yard gain. It'll bring up third. Actually, we'll give it 11. So third down and about 4 here. Knights go empty backfield on third down. Man jumps nearly offsides. Bear free shot down the left side. Duke, and he will run into the end zone. Coach Bird taking these vertical shots early, and if this is how this game's going to go, this looks good for the Knights.
There was a lot of pressure off that line. The defense was really coming in, pressuring Bear, but it was a good read. He got it off quick to an open man.
Yes, he did. It was a blitz of sorts, and then nobody was on Duke on the near sideline, which if you're not covering Duke, if you're not covering any of these receivers, it's going to be a problem. They'll all hurt you, and Matthew Slappy trying to add 2 more with his leg. Here's the kick up. It is blocked. No good. So Matthew now 1 of 2 on PATs as the kick is blocked. Hopefully that does not come back to bite the Knights. Mom listening back at home says, which is worse, the Wasp today or the amount of crickets we had in Jonesboro? And they both were bad in their own right. Jake was unable to make that Jonesboro game, but there were a lot of crickets, so you didn't miss out on a whole lot. And then here we killed the Wasp. So in terms of just making sure that the Wasp is out of the way, we seem to be good now. The crickets were more annoying because they just fly into you, but you knew they were harmless. But the Wasp has an added threat to it. So
that Wasp was mean. He wasn't moving.
He was not moving, but he also was not really trying to sting. I've seen far more aggressive Wasps in my life. Yeah. But he did not want to move, and unfortunately, he was standing right on the window, which is where we needed to open it. So that's why we were a bit late starting, but we're on now, and I hope to roll for the rest of the evening. 7:06 on the clock here in the first quarter. 16-0. Valor has the lead. Matthew Schlappe going to squib it again. Good squib kick. And it's fumbled again by Wichita. Might have been the same guy. It is Luke Miller who was unable to corral it. And the Knights falling it again. So this is a recipe that Coach Bird has clearly drawn up in this game. They want the onside kick, and then they want to take a shot deep. And Wichita Christian's been unable to stop either so far.
And they've done a really great job pressuring on those kickoffs. It's not just one guy who's going after the ball. The entire team is swarming it.
Yeah, they are, and you used the word swarm there, which following our bug conversations, that was pretty funny. Unintentional pun there, but we're having fun tonight here. Check down for Bear. Bennett on the drag, makes the catch, bobbled, stays in bounds. Wichita thought he went out, breaks 2 tackles, and rolls into the end zone for a touchdown. My goodness, Bennett Herman just would not go down. Looked like he may have come close to stepping out, but he did not, and he kept going and was rewarded with a touchdown.
I mean, he ran all over the place. There was great blocking, but by the time he got downfield, he was able to just break past those guys. Really good job.
Yep, so Bear with 3 passing touchdowns now on the evening, and those are to 3 different receivers. So on the year, let's look at it now. Bear, I believe, is up to 59 total passing touchdowns on the year, counting those. So good numbers for Bear. As Matthew bangs the extra point, that's the extra point, but it's worth 2 points. Through, he's now 2 of 3 on those PATs. And the score is 24-0 with 6:54 left in the first quarter. This is a revenge game for the Knights. Last year, lost to Wichita Christian twice. The Stars beat the Knights in regulation at their place on a cold, rainy night. It was not a good night for football. Knights just got beat there, and then they met up about a month later in Keene, Texas for a semifinal playoff game. And Wichita Christian came away with the dub there as well. Knights just really looked overmatched in that game. But they have that on their minds today as they look for revenge here tonight, and they've come out firing so far. Wichita Christian did lose 12 players from last year, including, I believe, all of their starters and a bunch of other impact players. So most of their high-key impact players they lost, and they have not added that many. It looks like only 7 players active for tonight's game, 1 on the sidelines, 6 out there on the field. About 4 more in sweats look to be injured or unavailable. So that's where Wichita Christian is as Matthew puts this kick over their heads. If this doesn't get to the end zone, Knights could recover, but it does. That was an interesting strategy there. If he could have put that ball inside the 5, Knights had a shot to recover. Wichita Christian was not expecting that. But ultimately, it bounced into the end zone, probably 3 yards into the end zone. So very close to being a touchdown for the Knights there if they could have recovered. But you also wonder, they went away from the squib kick, which had been working. We'll see if they go back to that. But Coach Bird's winning the chess match right now. And we'll see if that continues on throughout the night.
And I think that's going to set a precedent. Wichita is just not going to know what to expect now. Coach Bird is going to be in control of these kickoffs.
Yeah, he will be, and it's always good when you have the playbook in your favor. Here's 1st and 10 for Wichita Christian. Pitches to number 7. That's Luke Miller, and Miller gains 1 maybe. Luke Curtis, the DB, in there on the stop, along with the Knights D-line. As we see Seth Flowers, Duke, James, Matthew, Luke, and Bennett out there on D right now. So those are the guys out there on D right now. Wichita Christian. Yeah, again, only has 7 active players here on the night. And so we'll see if they're able to put up a fight. But so far, it hasn't been really competitive, to say it a little bit bluntly. But we'll see if that continues on throughout the night. Let's give you the weather. Did not do that right when we came on the air. Let's give you that now. 75 degrees in Waco. We'll dip into the low 70s throughout the night as the pitch goes to Miller again. About another yard, perhaps. And it brings up 3rd down and long here. But anyway, to finish the thought, sunset already has happened. Lights taking full effect here on the field. And the Knights ready for football.
I think one thing about last year's Wichita team was quickness. They had several guys who could just fly past the defense. They were quick. They were agile. They had great blocking. But this year it just seems that Valor's just straight to the running back. And they're just, I think Ben used this term a lot, bottling him up.
Yeah.
Just not letting him go anywhere.
Yeah, they are. Knights wearing white helmets with the blue script Knights on it here tonight, also with the blue tops and white pants. Wichita Christian wearing dark navy helmets with white jerseys and white pants. Snap goes to number 16. That is Luke Pankonian, and his pass falls incomplete, I believe, to the far side. And that will bring up 4th down and long. 4th and 13, it looks like, coming up. And I really haven't seen a whole lot of positive plays here for Wichita Christian. I mean, this is a team that last year won state. I believe it was 2A Division III, I believe, is what they won. But, I mean, they lost a lot of guys, have not added a whole lot more. And, I mean, you can see it's painful to lose your guys sometimes. And that's why it's so important to keep building, keep adding guys, keep improving the program. And Wichita Christian seems to be on a bit of a down year. Here's a blitz. Pass flutters up there, sideline, incomplete, out of bounds. Luke Curtis chased the receiver, Boston McNeil, to the sideline. And it's a turnover on downs following the incompletion. So Valor will take over at the Wichita Christian 22, nearly in the red zone. So Knights in the huddle here as let's give you a statistic on Wichita Christian. They lost to Azle Christian 75-0. 2 weeks ago, the Knights went down to Azle and they 45 to Azle Christian. Now, granted, it was a 99-52, 95, 97-52, something in that vein. So there were a lot of points put up. Azle Christian gave them a scare, but the Knights did ultimately 45 them, and this team lost to Azle Christian by 75. So that tells you a little bit about this matchup here today. Bubble screen to Duke, far side, makes one man miss, tries to get a block, and lunges up the sideline, still going, breaks out of the tackle, and is wrapped up about a yard or two shy of the line to gain, or of the end zone, rather. He got the first down. He was short of the end zone, and that'll bring up first down and goal.
Yeah, from the booth, it looked like he'd gone down a few times or even just out of bounds, but he just managed to stay up and keep going.
He did, as the Knights will try to punch it in here. Looks like they'll spot him at the 3, so may have stepped out of bounds a little bit back, but still good spot for the Knights here with Bear in the shotgun. He'll motion Duke. Here is the pitch to Duke. Duke, ooh, nearly wrapped up in the backfield.
Wow.
Thought he was going down. Escapes it, going far side, no walk into the end zone. My goodness, Duke. That's the second play where he was just wrapped up. Seemed to have been down in the backfield, but just broke out of it and then got a big play. Here, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, I think that pressure initially was really good by Wichita. They had him where they wanted him, but they just couldn't hold on to him, and Duke just kind of slipped out through the fingertips.
Yeah, he did. Tackling is a big part of six-man, and Valor's improved at that. Wichita Christian, their tackling's been a little bit sketchy today so far. Kick is good for Matthew Schlappy. That adds 2 more to the score. Our score now 32, I believe. Yeah, it looks like 32-0 with 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. And this has the makings of a game that may not head past halftime. With that 45-point mercy rule. Jake, I know you played Wichita Christian last year twice. What would this mean for the team and the program if they were able to exact some revenge today?
I think they're going to be really happy with the win, especially since this is a team they felt particularly discouraged by. Both losses were pretty tough. They were a really tough team, and it was Valor's first year, so I think there was just some bumps that they needed to improve. But I think they've done a great job of that this year. Incredible tackling, and a big improvement I've seen on the team. Even conditions play into a little bit. I remember the first Wichita game was pretty miserable. Everything was wet and it was cold, and the second game was extremely cold. But I think that Valor's going to be very proud of beating them. I also think that they're going to feel a little bit more confident in going into the playoffs, especially if they can get a home game out of this.
Yeah, indeed they will. Yeah, to your point about the game last year, I mean, it was when we pulled in, we all took the charter bus last year. But when we pulled in, I mean, we were pulling through puddles. The field was wet. It was cold. Yeah, it was not good. Here's the onside kick, recovered near side at about the 20. It bounced for a while. They'll spot it at the 19 for Wichita Christian. Recovered by Luke Miller. He's probably had their best plays on the night. He's recovered the onside kick once. He's also he also had the pass breakup on James in the end zone on a previous drive. So he's looked decent, but compared to last year's team, I mean, last year's team was fast and they were hard to tackle. I think if you look at the last game from last year, the biggest thing that the Knights were unable to do was tackle, and I think you would agree with that, Jake.
Absolutely.
Here we go, first down and 15 from the 19. Wichita Christian, pitch to Miller. Miller trying to get the edge, and Seth Flowers says no thanks as he brings him down in the backfield and it'll give them a loss of about 2 there, and it brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, he did a great job of he was on the left side, and the play was – or sorry, he was on the right side, and the play was running left, and he just kind of came around his man and snuck up behind him.
Yeah, he did. Just broke the block and was able to get in there and wrap him up. Under 4 minutes now to play. 32-0 is the score. First quarter here on the campus of Bishop Riker here this evening. We are not at Paul Tyson like normal for home games. We're at Bishop Riker here tonight. Miller gets another handoff back to the original line of scrimmage where Seth Flowers makes another tackle. And it brings up 3rd down, but this stadium has a bit of a fond memory for me. The first game I ever broadcasted was here last year, St. Mary's Hall. It was unfortunately a loss, but that was the first Valor game I ever did. So this little press box has some fond memories, and we're back here this evening. Looks like 3rd down and about 15 upcoming following the 2-yard run on the previous play. If you're just joining us, the Knights started this one off with a safety, and then Bears thrown for 3 passing touchdowns. Duke's got a rushing touchdown, and that is where we are. Here we go, 3rd down and long in their own territory. Here's the pitch. Miller trying to get the edge. Oh, my goodness. Luke Curtis came flying in from the DB position and just brought him down physically. That was a boomstick tackle.
Absolutely. He was fiery. He was coming in hot.
Luke's one of those guys that always brings the energy for this team. I think if you look at most improved player from last year, he's certainly on that list. Stepped into a starting defensive role this year and has just gotten really good. Not playing much offense, but he's really specialized in that defensive role, breaking up passes, really good tackler. So he's having a really good year for the Knights. 4th down and about 19 upcoming here for Wichita Christian. I think they have yet to get past their own 25-yard line here in this ball game. They did attempt 1 pass play downfield. We assume they'll do that again. Here's the snap. Oh, it's a punt. Oh, and that goes not far, as now it's spiraling back and out of bounds at the 7. PA announcer says they blocked it. That would make more sense with the trajectory of that ball. I mean, it went up and came back down and started rolling backwards. So we'll give it a blocked punt for the Knights, and they will take over inside Wichita Christian territory. More specifically, they will take over the Wichita Christian 7-yard line. So a good spot for the Knights, and they've got a good pathway to add to this 32-point lead here in the first quarter.
Absolutely. I think they were a little thrown off by the punt. I don't think they were ready for that. But they were still there to pressure the punter or QB, and they just did a really good job of getting downhill into the pocket. Yeah,
I think it was kind of an unintentional block. They were ready to tackle him, but then the ball was punted. Here's a pitch. Seth Flowers running hard, and he's got a touchdown easily. This is becoming a beatdown here in Waco as Seth Flowers gets a rushing touchdown, and the Knights' lead moves up to 38-0. So a nice team effort so far. Seth, Duke, Bennett, and Matthew have all scored. Bear has thrown the 3 passing touchdowns, so it's been a really balanced effort for the Knights. Matthew Schlappy's been good on special teams, with the exception of a blocked kick. So Knights really playing complimentary football all night here tonight. Matthew's kick is up and good again. So 4 of 5, 80% now. Matthew on the night. And the score is up to 40-0 here in the first quarter. If you're wondering what the Knights' high for points so far on the season is, I believe it was last week when they hung, let's see, we'll make sure we get this right, but it was in the 90s last week against Azle Christian. 98-52 was the final score. That was the most points they've scored on the year. Second most, they scored 78 against Faith Academy and 74 against Allen Academy. They did allow 52, their second highest point total, or third highest point total, I should say, of the season. Allowed 60 to Prince of Peace in the first game. That was a really fun game. And then they did allow 54 to Jonesboro, but Jonesboro was a good team, and those were a little bit of rough conditions out there on Jonesboro's homecoming, so that's a good win for the Knights. Resume really looks good right now, and going into the playoffs, they've got looks like they're going to be undefeated.
There's just been an air of spirit on the team. They've just been extremely excited all the time, super confident in what they're doing. I think they've taken a lot of skills and plays from last year and really refined them. So I think that makes for a really strong team.
Yeah, it does. There's a belief about this team that there wasn't last year. I mean, the first year last year, I mean, you could tell at times they were still struggling to figure out how to play as a team. But this year, there's a belief that there was not last year. And, I mean, this is a real championship contender kind of team. I believe there's 2 other teams in their division in the TAPS D3 that are still undefeated. And I think the Knights have the most wins out of that group. So it'll be a good playoffs wherever it comes as Luke Miller fields the kickoff here. Motoring upfield to about the 20-yard line, and that's where he is brought down by a couple of Knights. Wichita Christian is ranked 167th in Texas, according to sixmanfootball.com. They are ranked 218th in Texas, according to Max Preps. So not very favorable rankings there from either site. For reference, Valor is 18th in Max Preps' rankings, so 200 spots higher. And then they are 38th in Six-Man Football's rankings, about 120 spots higher. So Knights should be Wichita Christian, favored by 45, according to sixmanfootball.com. Additionally, here's a 1-yard run for the Stars. And it brings up second down and about, it may not have gained anything. Looks like we may have a flag on that far side. Let's see what this is. I believe.
It doesn't look like it's in the, oh.
Well, okay, they're going to walk it forward. Looks like they will. Maybe an offsides penalty. Because it will. See, yeah, they're going to mark it 5
yards.
So, yeah, it looks like it's an offsides penalty, which will give, it will be a replay of first down. So 1st and 10 upcoming for Wichita Christian. But to finish that thought, the Knights are the better team here, and they're just looking to take care of business here tonight, get on to the playoffs, and that's where they want the fun to start. Hazel Christian comes in, I believe, at 4-3, I think. Wrote down 3-4, and I put on the graphic 4-3. So we will fact check that for you here in a moment, as the run is 1 yard, maybe 2 yards up the middle. Not a whole lot brewing there. Here we go, second down. It looks like about 8 or 9 upcoming here. Wichita Christian at their own 27, and looks like that will be the end of the first quarter. So the clock will tick on down. 2 seconds left. Now 1, now 0. And 40-0 is the score at the end of 1. The Knights have the lead after 10 minutes of football. We'll be back with the next 10. We'll finish out the first half. When we come back, don't go anywhere. This is Valor Football. Valor Football here on the campus of Bishop Riker Catholic School. J.J. Kern Stadium is where we are. 40-0 the score after a quarter. And after some conversation in the break, Jake would like to give our Wasp friend a name. Jake, have you thought about anything?
I think I've decided to name him William the Aggressor.
Okay.
He's a very aggressive guy. He was looking at me funny. I didn't like him very much. His attitude was frustrating, but I think for such a valiant warrior who was willing to stand his ground in the booth, he should deserve a name. Yep.
Okay, we've got William the Warrior, or the aggressor. You said William the Aggressor. So that is our Wasp friend's name. So So he now has a name, as it'll be 3rd down and about 6 upcoming following the run for Wichita Christian. Beg your pardon, I put 4 and 3 on the graphic. Wichita Christian is actually 3 and 4, so I credit him with an extra win. But we'll just say I was being nice when I made the graphic. So apologize for that. They are 3 and 4, I believe. Max Prep said 2 and 3, and then Six Man Football says 3 and 4. So a little bit inconsistent, but we'll say 3 and 4, and we'll be nice on the graphic and say 4 and 3. So 3 and 4, I believe, is their ultimate record as we play here tonight. Knights obviously 9 and 0. They are undefeated.
Moon is looking a blood orange tonight. Very cool.
It is very close to the horizon, I guess I should say. But yeah, it's a cool orange color. As here is a run up the middle again, limited gain, maybe 2 yards. But yeah, the moon looks really cool. An orange, as Jake said, but very low. That might be the lowest I've ever seen at the moon. But that's cool. So yeah, so we've got a fun atmosphere here. It's a good Valor crowd turning out here today, or tonight, I should say, under the lights. You can see the Alico building straight ahead out in the distance downtown. So a good field here, grass field here on this evening. So good conditions for football here under the lights. Low 70s, just a great night for football. Knights trying to take care of business here tonight against the Wichita Christian Stars. This clock will tick down to about 8 minutes when they snap it. They're just standing in the huddle for a solid minute. I mean, I don't know if that's legal, but now they will whistle and we'll have a timeout. So they will have a timeout, and during this timeout, we'll talk about the split. So Wichita Christian is 0-1 in their district games so far this year. They're 1-3 at home and 2-1 on the road. So they've actually got more wins on the road than they do at home. As a matter of fact, let's look at their schedule. So we will check out who they've won and who they've lost against here this season. Obviously mentioned earlier, they lost to Azle Christian 75-0. But let's check the rest of their schedule. Their first game was against San Jacinto Christian. They lost that game by 40. Then they beat Forestburg the next week, lost to Lucas Christian Academy, beat a team from Amarillo, and then lost to Azle Christian just a few of their games. So Wichita Christian not as good as they were last year. We'll see if they're able to replenish their roster next year. But Knights just trying to get a little bit of a revenge game here. Only a few players left from last year's team that beat the Knights. Most did not see critical minutes. And so the Knights trying to take care of business tonight. That's the best way to put it. And with a 40-0 lead here early, they have made sure that that is the case. We will give Wichita Christian a shout out for driving all the way down here. I mean, I remember last year it was brutal.
Long drive.
It was a long drive, so we'll give them props for that tonight. And that's a brutal drive for anyone. Never want to wish that, even on the opponents. But they did a good job, and they've looked fresh, just maybe not at the Knights level. Here's a run up the middle, stop for no gain, and it's a turnover on downs. Valor will take over with possession of the football. We'll see here in the second quarter. Knights hold a 40-point lead. Obviously, Coach Bird's going to roll with his starters for a while, but we'll see if the backups get any minutes here in this one. But the Knights have been good all year. Coach Bird's been a great coach. Won that midseason Coach of the Year award from Dave Campbell's Texas Football. So great to see the recognition there for Coach Bird. And he's done a great job with his personnel this year. They've really improved from last year. And we've gotten to watch it. It's been fun. Here's Bear dropping back from the Knights, or from the Stars 30. He will dump it off to Aiden Murray, but the pass falls incomplete. Intended for the Valor center, but it falls to the grass and incomplete. Ben Brown and Jake McCormick with you live from the booth here at Bishop, here on the campus of Bishop Riker Catholic School. We are at their place tonight instead of Paul Tyson. Thursday night evening gives the Knights an extra day of rest before the playoff game next week, so I'm not sure if that was a factor in it. But Thursday night football here for the Knights. 2nd down and 15. Bears going to go deep. James Hogan with the catch. Running pylon, and he'll get in for the touchdown, I should say. And the Knights add to this lead. 46-0 is the score. If you're wondering about the mercy rule, that applies at halftime. So 46-point lead or more at halftime is the rule. So we will at least play to halftime as James Hogan gets his first receiving touchdown of the night. Bear with his 4th passing touchdown. What did you see there, Jake?
I think James really turned on the Jets. He caught that ball, and he was just gone. There was a few men in the backfield, but they were just not quick enough to catch up to him. He did a great job of really trucking through.
Yeah, that's the thing this Knights team has been good at this year is breaking tackles. As the kick is up and good for Matthew. 5 of 6 now on the night. This team's gotten a lot better at tackling and wrapping up. And so they've also gotten better at breaking tackles. So both sides of it here for the Knights. So we'll see what they like to do here on the kickoff. We've seen them kick it deep once. We've also seen them squib it several times. They've had pretty good success on all of them. We'll see what they do here as looks like Coach Arp in the special teams huddle with those guys here for the upcoming play. Good Valor contingent making the trek out here. I say the trek out here. It's like 5 minutes from Valor's campus, but a decent crowd here. And for those who could not make it, thanks for tuning in here on this evening. Undefeated Valor Knights try to stay undefeated here against we'll call them a rival. I would say Azle Christian and Wichita Christian are so far our biggest football rivals. Wichita Christian obviously beat us twice. So some revenge there. And then Azle Christian, I mean, they're sneaky good. I mean, they've got a couple good players. They gave the Knights a real fight 2 weeks ago, and they're a team that I don't think you want to face in the playoffs. We'll see who the Knights do end up drawing in the playoffs, but that's a scary team if they get hot. Here's a squib for Matthew. It is fielded this time by Wichita Christian. It is number 16. Luke Panconian. Ooh, rough name there. Panconian recovers it. He's got, I think, a center build. So he's got that lineman build, big, built, strong. So that's what number 16 is for Wichita Christian. He looks strong. He's not a guy who looks like you want to get in a fight with, but he does recover the onside kick there. So 1st and 15 here from the Wichita Christian. From the Wichita Christian 35. Stars moving from right to left here. Knights on defense going from left to right. Here's a bunch formation. Looks like Corbin Rose under center. He will pitch. This is number 12, Boston McNeil. And McNeil is wrapped up by Seth Flowers and Luke Curtis. Probably the Knights' 2 leading tacklers tonight here for Valor. And they've been good all year. And, in fact, we were talking about how much the backups may play in this game. I see Malachi Stanford out there on that D-line. He's strong, too. I think he could be a really key piece of this D-line. If Coach Bird can work him in down the stretch, he's good. I think he'll be a really good lineman for the Knights in the upcoming years if he stays in the football program. So fun to see Malachi out there on that D-line getting some reps here for Valor here this evening. Wichita Christian huddling up again. They are not in any kind of hurry. Does not appear to be a play clock here on this evening. We're now under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter with the Knights holding a 48-0 lead. Here's a pitch. Oh, nearly fumbled in the backfield by Luke Miller. Oh, now he did fumble. It looked like he bobbled it and then recovered it initially, but then it looks like he did fumble once again once he was being tackled, but Wichita Christian recovered. Credit to Corbin Rose there for falling on the football. And as it is, it's a 2-yard gain for the Stars. So Wichita Christian does avoid disaster there as they will be on their own 36 following the fumble and the fumble recovery. I believe that's their second fumble of the night that they have recovered themselves. So holding on to the football has been a little bit of an issue for them so far tonight. But they did recover that one and ultimately get about a 1-yard gain out of it. So 3rd and 14 upcoming. Once again, the Stars wearing navy helmets with white tops and white pants. 3rd down and 14. Here's a long one. They try to spread out the Knights defense, hand it to Corbin Rose, and Rose may have gotten a yard. Connor in there on the tackle, also Malachi in there to make the tackle. So the Knights defense doing a good job there. Up front, and this D-line's been good all night. The DBs, the linebackers coming up from the secondary so far, and tackling's been really good so far for the Knights, wouldn't you say?
I think so. They've done a great job of getting one guy in there, kind of sticking his nose in the player, but then having a couple more guys to come in and help and just take him down, especially on that play. I'm not sure who it was, but somebody got in there, and then another defense player came and just took him down, and they worked together.
Yep, the reinforced tackling's been good. Here's Wichita Christian, under 5 minutes to go now, and the snap is fumbled. It was a high snap, and the QB could not recover, and it appears the Knights have it. They do. So Seth Flowers recovers in the backfield, and the Knights will take over in the Stars territory around the 30-yard line. So the Knights recover the fumble there on 4th down, I believe. So it would have been a turnover on downs anyway, but the fumble is recovered for the Knights. 4:49 left here in the second quarter, and this may be the quickest game the Knights have played all year. But I mean, they've gone out there and handled business so far, and we'll see if they continue to do that.
I think they've just had relentless pressure. The Wichita hasn't really been able to go anywhere. Unfortunately, I don't think they've made it past, I would say, the 30 tonight. But great pressure from Valor. They're going to get it done. They've done a great job of being where they need to be and making tackles.
Yeah, they have. They've done a good job with that. Here's Bear on play action. He's going to sling it near side. Caught Connor with the catch. Oh, he made a defender miss and is into the end zone. So Connor with the touchdown there. Another one-play variety for the Knights. And Connor is he is the 6th player for the Knights, not counting Bear, to have a touchdown in this game. So this is going to make handing out the MVP a little bit harder. But Bear up to 5 passing touchdowns on the night. He's been good. And Matthew's got a receiving touchdown. Duke, Bennett, James, Connor all have receiving touchdowns. And then Duke and Seth both have rushing touchdowns as well. Here's Matthew set to try and kick this through the posts. James Hoagland is the holder. Kick is up, and it is good. So down the middle for Matthew as he moves to 6 of 7 so far on the evening. And with 4:40 to go here in the second quarter, Knights hold a commanding 56-0 lead over Wichita Christian. Knights kickoff unit getting ready here for the next play on the sideline, huddling up with Coach Arp. We'll see who they send out there. It looks like Matthew, Rhodes, Connor, Seth, and maybe Malachi and one other out there. We will see who they send out there. Wichita Christian is 3-4 on the season. I did put it on the graphic wrong. I apologize for that. Knights are 9-0, so that's right. So undefeated is Valor, and they will look to stay that way going into the playoffs. Once again, they've already clinched a playoff spot. If they win tonight, it would guarantee a home playoff game next week, and that's what we are all hoping for. Jake, I guess you never got to play a home playoff game, but what was the playoff atmosphere like even on the road?
It was extremely exciting. I myself in the first round of the playoffs had 2 catches for 55 yards.
You did.
But it's extremely exciting, especially those first 2. The second game, really, freezing cold, but went through overtime, and Valor eventually pulled through. It was a really close game, well-fought game. And they did a really good job pushing through, and they faced Wichita in the 3rd round.
Yeah, they did. That was an incredible game. Here's the kickoff. It falls flat, but recovered by Wichita Christian. But yeah, that overtime game was insane.
Extremely exciting.
Yeah, the archival of the broadcast is on YouTube. That we did have some technical difficulties. Had 3 installments that going in and out throughout the game, but the last one's about 30 minutes long. It encapsulates the end of the second half and then all of overtime. So I mean, if you've got a free 30 minutes in your free time sometime, that's probably the best 30 minutes of a game from last year to go back and listen to. That was just a fun game.
It's
in
like
general,
a podcast.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then, like you mentioned, the game that you had 2 catches in, that was a great game too. Knights trailed in that game, in both games actually, but were able to come back. And Jake did have 2 catches, so that was probably your best game of the year, wasn't it?
For sure.
Yep. Here is a handoff and a whole pile of guys there. Moves the ball carrier up about 3 yards maybe. And Jake, do you want to give the listeners the story of your big catch in that game?
So I believe we were up 30-something points probably. We were close to 45 in them. The first catch was off a bubble route, so I just kind of popped into the sideline behind the quarterback. Got a few yards off that. But then the second play, something I've seen Valor repeat a lot this year is a play where the wide receiver goes in for a block and then dips out to the sideline for a go route. And I did stumble a little bit. I like to believe in my heart that I would have had a touchdown that game if I had stood up right. But it's still an incredibly fun time. Probably my favorite game, I would say.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
Yeah, it was extremely fun.
Here's a pitch in the backfield, and probably a loss of yards here for Luke Miller, the freshman here. He's been the one they've tried to get most of their runs to here tonight, but he's been unable to break it big. So we see some backups in now. See Sam Grismer up on that D-line, rather. Rhodes Horner in at DB. Malachi Stanford also on that D-line. Danny Smith at safety. And 2 more. Yeah, looks like Aiden Murray up on the D-line and Bennett Herman, starter still out there on defense.
Do you have a favorite game that you ever commentated, Ben?
Ooh, I think I'd have to say the overtime game. I mean, just the pure excitement of that game. I mean, that was insane. That was an experience that was amazing. It was cold. Like I think I was wearing 6 layers. I mean, it was cold, but it was worth it. It was fun, and that was a great game. Here's an incomplete pass. Quarterback was going down. Credit Aiden with the pressure, and the pass falls incomplete as a result, and brings up 4th down. And about, it looks like 15 upcoming maybe here for Wichita Christian, somewhere in that vein. 2:39 to play, first half. 56-0 Knights. Does look like it appears to be on a track to have the mercy rule enacted here this evening. But last year, we've been talking about memories from last year, and hopefully we build some more this year in the playoffs. Right now, the best teams that I think Valor would match up with in the playoffs are, I think it's Fredericksburg Heritage, Kingdom Prep from Lubbock, and then Founders Christian I think are the 3 teams to keep an eye on for the playoffs, but we'll let you know once we have that matchup for you next week. Pass falls incomplete. Rhodes Horner nearly picked it off, but the pass hits the ground, and Valor will take over following the turnover on downs at the Wichita Christian 28-yard line.
Moon, if not full, is looking full tonight. It's risen a little bit since last time we were admiring it, but it's rising. It's giving a nice silhouette to the field. A lot of energy under the lights tonight. Yeah,
it is. Not quite as orange too as it was earlier. Not quite as like blood red or orange as it was earlier. But yeah, I mean it's
feeling a bit better in the mood.
Yeah, it does. The lights obviously taking full effect here on this grass field. Just a great environment for football. Nearly half of the stands full. Massive bleachers here at Riker, I should say. Must probably comment on that. But good Valor turnout here tonight. And for all of you listening, thanks so much for joining us. Bear still in there at quarterback. He wants to go deep. Comes back to his check down. James Hoagland gets the catch for about 3 yards. Good tackling there from Wichita Christian, as that was Panconian again in on the tackle, and that brings up 2nd down and about 13, it looks like. coming here with about 2 minutes to play in the second half, or in the first half, I should say, and in perhaps, in all likelihood, probably the game. Here's an interesting formation for the Knights. They've got 3 men in the backfield. Now we've got whistles and timeout, perhaps. Looks like it. Yep, looks like Valor took a timeout there, as it looks like Coach Bird with about 2 minutes left. Again, using that timeout as effectively a 2-minute warning. It's interesting. We see some of these coaches use these timeouts to be almost a 2-minute warning. I don't believe. There might be a 2-minute warning. It feels like every game there sometimes is, sometimes there isn't. But yeah, so we'll see here in this ball game. But with about 1:58 on the clock here in this first half, both teams huddling on their sidelines. And I want to shout out our officials tonight for making doing the game here tonight would not be possible without them, so I want to say thanks to them. Wichita Christian traveling a long ways. I mean, I believe we did get 45 last year traveling to their place, so I mean we know what it feels like. But
Absolutely.
this year it does appear we have the upper hand, and we've just been better this year than they have. Looks like we see Rhodes, Sam Grismer, Seth, Bear, believe I saw James in there as well. Yep, James, and then Danny Smith out there on offense. So some of the backups getting reps here in this one. Bear out there at quarterback. Rhodes motions out, far side. Bear rolls out that way. He's going to go deep for Rhodes. Rhodes with the catch, and he's into the end zone. So the freshman scoring there on the touchdown. So Rhodes Horner, I believe that's his first touchdown of the season of the receiving variety, and that's Bear's 6th of the game. So Knights offense has really clicked here tonight, and they have now hung 62 on the Stars defense.
Shout out to the Wichita fans. I see a pretty decent group over there who come to support their players. So long drive for sure, especially to come to such a game like this, but appreciate their support for their team.
Yeah, Knights have a great crowd, but yeah, I mean we probably had about that crowd too last year for the game down there. So it's always fun to see the fan bases travel and just support their kids here in this game of high school football. Danny Smith's PAT attempt is no good. He is the backup kicker for the Knights, and he is now 0-1 on the evening. And with 1:49 on the clock in the second quarter, Knights hold a 62-0 lead. If you're just joining us, the Knights had a safety to begin this game, and then they've had a variety of touchdowns. Bear has thrown for 6 passing touchdowns, 1 to Matthew, 1 to Bennett, 1 to James, 1 to Connor, and 1 to Rhodes. And then Duke and Seth both have rushing touchdowns on the night as well. So Knights have really spread around the offense. It's been an even performance for Valor, and so Knights have the upper hand here tonight, and really exacted their revenge on Wichita Christian, I would say, and look to be clinching a home playoff game next week. We will let you know details of that when we get them. So stay tuned to Valor Prep's social media accounts, and it'll probably be in the newsletter too. I would think so. Check your email next week, and then stay tuned to the Valor Prep Facebook page as well, and we may have some updates there for you as well. Luke, Connor, Aiden, Rhodes, Bennett, and Matthew on special teams duty here as Matthew raises the right hand and kicks it away. So no squib attempt here as the kick is fielded by the Stars, and the ball carrier is rattled down to the ground at about the 15-yard line. That is Asher Adams, the junior, fielding it and going to the ground. And with 1:48 to play, we'll see if Wichita Christian just runs the ball here, maybe try to get some of that clock off and just head out of here, or if they throw it deep a couple times, try to break a big play. here, but we'll see what they do. Looks like Luke, Rhodes, Danny, Malachi, Seth, and now Sam Grisber out there on D, running out there for that D line. So Knights getting some backups, some reps here tonight, and we will see how the Knights close this one out. Here are the Stars. It's a handoff up the middle, and it's about 2 yards there on the gain.
Looks like they got a good little tush push going there.
Yeah, it looked similar to that. Just hand the ball up the middle, and they've got some bigger guys that can push too. I mean, I bet those guys are good in the weight room, but it's kind of a different team. It looks like a stronger team this year than it was last year. Less of a fast make you miss a bunch of tackles kind of team. But ultimately, it looks like they may have had some injuries too. Only see 7 active players here tonight. So when a team's dealing with injuries, that also throws off your entire game plan. So maybe dealing with that as well. So, but do want to say thanks to them for making the trip down here. We had to make the trip up there last year, and so both teams doing it now. It's a long ways to Wichita. Here is an incomplete pass intended for Luke Miller. It falls incomplete from Panconian, the quarterback, and 52 seconds to play. The clock will stop in the first half. Under the lights here on this Thursday evening, Knights look to be extending their undefeated record by 1 more. 9-0 currently, about 52 seconds away from being 10-0. The mercy rule is about it is 45 is the rule. Knights have a comfortable lead beyond that here right now, and as we approach an hour being on the broadcast, I think this game started about an hour ago, so it looks like it'll be about an hour-long game. As here's a cut up the middle, looks like that is Asher Bannon, the sophomore, getting the carry, and clock running now. We'll see if this goes. If they need to take another snap or if that will just end the ball game. It appears as they will line up to take another snap as the clock dips inside at 30 seconds. But, Jake, what have you seen so far tonight from this Knights squad?
I think Valor's just been explosive and confident throughout the night. They've just been everything they can do to get a stop has been done. They've gotten sacks. They've gotten running tackles. They've just done a great job of being to the spot, being quick, being active at all times, and really not letting anything pass. They haven't been lazy at all. They've done a really great job of being feisty.
They have. If you're wondering what that noise was, that was the buzzer. And the second half is over, and the game is over. So about an hour-long contest here on this Thursday evening. The Knights extend their record from 9-0 to 10-0. They are undefeated now on the regular season. They will host a home playoff game next week, likely either Thursday or Friday, as the crowd applauds to that announcement. But the Knights will be back in Waco, probably either at Riker or at Paul Tyson next week. Stay tuned to Valor Preparatory Academy's social media and email, and check your emails for updates on that next week. As far as the MVP here tonight, we'll give it to Bear. 6 passing touchdowns. That he had a good night, but really complimentary football all around for the Knights. And we'll give Rhodes an honorable mention for his big touchdown. Always want to shout out the guys that don't get as much playing time this year, and the freshman really making his impact there for the Knights. So let's give you the final stats here. I mentioned Bear with 6 passing touchdowns. Matthew Slappy 6 of 7 on PATs. Danny Smith 0 of 1. Matthew with a receiving touchdown as well. Duke a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Seth a rushing touchdown. Bennett a receiving touchdown. James, Connor, and Rhodes each with a receiving touchdown to add up to a 62-0 dub. 62-0 is the final. Valor shuts out Wichita Christian here on this Thursday evening. I want to say thanks for being with us here tonight. I want to say thanks also to all who made this broadcast possible. Thanks to Coach Stephen Bird for his continued support of the endeavor. Thanks to Colin Witt and Derek Smith for their help throughout the process. And probably the most thanks to Jeff and Bethany Brown back home listening. They've been very supportive of the process as well, so I love y'all, and thanks for helping know they're listening. Once again, I want to say thanks to all of you for listening. For Jake McCormick, I'm Ben Brown, saying once again, the Knights have a 10-0 record now, undefeated. They move into the playoffs. Those will start next week, likely either Thursday or Friday. Once again, final score is 62-0. Good night.